Hello, today we're gonna talk about innovation in Key Action to Erasmus Plus project. This is probably the most important part of your application, so please take very conscious approach about that, because if your innovation is not good, definitely your final application will not be good as well. So what I'm suggesting at the beginning is that your first rule of innovation is to forget everything what you did until now. Forget safety, destroy your reputation, be notorious to go into the field where you never knew you can come, and then try to figure it out if those ideas are useful or not. Because sometimes if you are stick in the box, you will never be innovative. So this is probably the first and most important rule of the innovation. So what I will discuss today is the think what you will answer, what you have been answering to my poll, and this what tools to use to make your project innovative. So this is a reaction to this your questions. So, in the previous webinar, we discussed how the Key Action 2 project could be fundable. Here we will talk about innovation. So I will give you 3 tools how to be innovative, how to try to think differently, and you will see if this is okay for you or not. So, before we start, let's see how other people doing about the innovation. And this is something very peculiar, because in the book of Management 3.0, which is kind of Bible for the management, you should read it if you don't, if you like this kind of text. It says that recent research has shown that the copying of idea is the most successful of all improvement strategies. So that means at the beginning you need to copy, you need to see what other people is doing, try to replicate first, and then try to learn. So this is the one straightforward way to be your project more innovative, because you're learning in classical way. At the beginning you want to know what is it, so we will discuss today what is it, and then we will try to learn new tools, so that way you will copy from other people. In that case you will copy from me, and then you will try to invent your own tools. So this knowledge have these 3 stages, and this learning process is very important. So let's get back to the basic to see how we are doing this. I've been already discussing before that we need to organize the data to allow your brain to start to develop new ideas. So in the previous webinar I shown how to collect those little pieces of information which needs to be perfectly put together in one scheme that you can think about it, and then your development of the project will be much easier. If you just open your e-form and see what you need to do there is too much, because your brain cannot comprehend the sequence between that. So I put that in that forum at the beginning, and now today I'll give you the tools for those idea development. So again, Erasmus Plus is nothing else than from current situation to the improved situation. Just today I've been looking over the internet the way how to make your Key Action 2 projects good, and generally what I found is just technically what you need to do. What is for example the problem, and you never have explanation how you can describe the problem, how to prove them, how to make them the complete situation fundable. And this is what I'm doing now differently. So as I said before, first you need to say why we are doing this project and who is affected. You never start to say what you will do. This is wrong approach. First you need to say why you are doing that, what will be later. So why doing that is who is affected. So that way you tell the evaluator, who is, as I already told you, he is your buyer. You need to know why to present the complete idea to him first. So this is how I know the problem, and then you need to say how you will solve and what will be changed, and that is impact and the complete structure, how you'll do it. So I know how to fix it is the second part of the application. So this will be improved situation, and if you will do that way, it's much higher chance to be approved. So in our previous webinar we said how to make your project fundable. You need to define the problem, the causes and consequences, and need to find the trustable evidences, and this is analysis of the problem. And if you don't have analysis of the problem, probably you will have very low evaluation rate, and this is not good for your application. We already discussed about the affected target group, who is a final recipient, who is target group, who will help you implement. Please check back the webinars to see why I try to distinguish who is final recipient and who is target group. For example, in our example today, final recipients are the kids who are obese, and the target group are teachers who want to teach them different way of life. So in this webinar we will go into the core of the application. This is innovation and approach, how we will do it. And that innovation will have the results, and these results will answer the needs. And this loop is very important. If you don't understand this, you will never have a good project. So at the beginning you have innovation, then results needs to produce the impact and needs to respond to the needs which you described in your analysis. How you will do this later with the mobilities and what skills and knowledge they will get, but generally that means loop, innovation, results, and fulfillment of the needs is most important part. So 3 tools for an innovation. First very important tool is solution tree. Solution tree is nothing else than problem tree, which is turned around, and I will show you the exactly 3 steps for doing that. So problem 3, as probably never been explained before, is in those 3 sentences. So first is a problem, then what are the causes of the problem, and later of course also what is consequences for that. So when you describe the problem, causes and consequences, you don't need to write anywhere in the application form, but it's very important for you, because that way you will know what's happening, and it will help you develop good innovation project. So this is our example. So we have obese kids in our school. So what you try to figure out first, what causing that problem. So this is first is maybe parents are too busy, so they don't have time to deal with the kids in the way they should. There not enough sports, too much time in front of the TV, couch potato type, too much food. So this is the problem which causes kids obesity, and when the kids is obese, definitely get bad remarks from other school members, their colleagues in the school. Then they have much more illness and negative self-image, and also the bullying is always starting with somebody who is a little different, and obese kids is something like that. So I'm using that piece of paper and I'm still doing on the hand, by hand, not just on the computer. I try to do it by hand because this kinesthetic connection between your hand and your brain is very important, because you was raised that way, and everything what you learn you wrote by your hand. So try to use that connection. So at the beginning you will do the problem, you will write the sentences, and then you will also write the consequences. So this is first step. Why? And now we will go to the step 2. All those reasons. First, we need to write in negative form. What does that mean? For example, here we have parents are too busy. We will change it into parents can't spend time with children, or not enough sports. Children are not involved in sports. So every statement below is in negative form. So this is second step for the problem 3. So third step is that we need to again change from negative form to the positive form. So what I'm doing today is I'm gonna show you. This is another example of the template you can produce. So you try to do it the way: problem, consequences, and the reasons for that. Give it in the negative form, and third step is to put everything in the positive form, and this is solution 3. So here is the example. Healthy children is opposite of the obese kids we had at the beginning. So every statement we had, we will start with change. So this was parents are too busy. Our new statement is parents spend every day at least 1 hour with the kids. Previous for not enough sports will be each child has been intensively involved with the sports. And again, all other statements. So why we are doing that and how we did that? What results this gives us? So if, for example, see what is the consequences here is, for the healthy children, the consequence will be kids without the disease, kids with positive self-esteem, or reducing bullying at school. And you can see the solution could be, for example, each child has been intensively involved in the sport, and this will yield in kids with positive self-esteem or reducing bullying at sport. Or children understand the reason for healthy eating, so we'll have the project about teaching kids how to healthy eat. I will show example how you will do later that, but we can have that project about understanding healthy eating, and that way we will create impact for the healthy children. So just with that steps give you about 5, 6, 7 different ideas how to implement and what is the innovation for that project. So every time solution 3 recipe is like that. First prepare the problem 3, then make cause statements in negative form. So the third, the bottom line is negative. Why we are doing that negative is just because the positive form later is much easier to prepare. Make sure that you will really do that. I've been leaving that second step sometimes out, and I figured it out that helped me to prepare much better ideas if I really try to figure it out what is the first negative form and then put everything in positive form. So as you see, just with that step here we have a lot of different ideas how to implement this project from the beginning. So this is the one key for the innovation. Another is bridging tool. I prepared that tool a few years ago when I studied a lot of marketing, and this bridge means connection between your needs and your wants. So why we are doing this? For example, you see here final recipient's needs and wants in the special template where we try to figure it out what, for example, final recipients will get. So their needs, we know what their needs are, we described it before, but we never talk what are their wants. So why we need that example, why we need that wants? Because even if you have the best idea of the world, if that kids or that final recipients don't want to use that your formula, is a waste of time. So innovation, the best innovation is when you know how to connect what they want with what they need. So if you will know what they want, you can use that as a vehicle to give them what they need, and this is the really good innovation. So how we can do that? So I create a little tool which is connection, when you can describe the connection between needs and wants and try to figure it out what will be that connection. So for example, here we have a needs for the final recipient. So we all know for these obese kids needs more physical exercise, need the more awareness about the healthy food, and they need goal setting and self-discipline. You know that snacking and a lot of chips and goal setting, they don't have a really vision what they need to do with their physical exercises or preventing bad eating. So goal setting and discipline is very important. And this is example of my project I already did a few years ago, and this is exactly what I did in that time, which yielded in the very good project at the end. So what we try to figure it out here is what are their wants. Wants for here, for example, they want to play football, especially if they're boys. They want to watch TVs. They want to play games on the computer. They use their phones. They want to gather points, badges, and rewards. This is very, very important. It is built into our system, education system, that if you get the points, you know, and in any test, anything is gathering points, and they really want to as well gather points in the games, or they want to get badges or different rewards. And so this is one of very good educational tool if you know how to use this. So they also want to meet with friends, they want to draw, they want to be on the stage, they want to perform. So why we are describing this? Because that don't have anything with the topic of the project. This is just what they want to do. We want to try to figure it out what is the best way to connect what they want to do with the needs. So how you do it? We just make those connections. So first one, for example, they want play football, and that could yield in more physical exercise. So we are connecting want and need. Or they want to use their phones and connect to the more physical exercise. How we did it? For example, on a lot of different phones you have application how to track your physical activities, and this is very good approach for that. Also, they want to gather points, badges, and rewards. So we can set up the system where they can get points when they go outside and gather that points, and that could be also on the phones, and that could be really good improvement of more their physical exercise in the playful way. So that system allows you very quickly to develop few very good ideas, which is innovation, and that is how you do the innovation. So this is our final decision about that project. So we said that we will gather points, badges, and rewards, and we created also the phone application which track what they did, and they get more points, and they, of course, the next day when they came back to the school, they compare their points, they want to be better, and that was very good example how their wants can be connected to their needs, and that was really big impact. And what is also very important, they had goal settings, because they said, this month I want to walk 15 kilometers. And they really stick to that goal, so that we improved self-discipline. So with just this little paper, we created a very good project, and we describe it later that way. Innovation of the project is kids love to gather points, budget and rewards, and we will use this gamification technique to help them develop better self-discipline and consequently achieve in sports in learning. So this is already a very good sentence which then you can put into your application. So again, very easy piece of paper, connection, and you will get a very good innovation. So this was another example how to do it. The third is very similar to the bridging techniques. Just on the right side, you don't have their wants. You know already good practice. So if you know what is working, try to just number those good practices together and try to connect with the needs. So, for example, we know gamification of education is one very big topic now, or problem-based learning, or role models, or of known sport people, because kids want to copy role models. If those role models are sport people, this is very good. This is good combination. So this is also another very good example how to very quickly prepare innovation for your project. So how and where to start now? As I already told you, subscribe here on my website, because here you can see all my previous webinar. You can see all the examples of good practice I've been describing over these courses of webinars. Also a lot of different examples and articles on entrepreneurship of Erasmus+, and also you can find all webinars and the links to those webinars on the YouTube. So go here, subscribe, and when you subscribe, you will also get all the templates I am providing. So get this online template, and which will also give you a different example how I'm doing that in my Erasmus Plus project. So extra tools, this is like I'm now like somebody who is selling, and I will say this is extra for you. This is, I gave you 3 tools and 9 extra tools, just the same price. None less. This is everything for free. So extra tool, help your brain. Why I'm telling this? Because I have experience from my past that if you have a big space for thinking, this is much easier for you to develop your idea. You probably already been reading about how Google improved their innovation with the big spaces, with the different gadgets in the facilities, the swings and the flippers, and you know, whatever they want to do. So I built my office very similar, and you know, when I draw a lot of things, I draw it on my whiteboard, or at least I want to have on big papers. And that's why kids love to draw on the walls, because they are not limited in this small little piece of paper, and this is very, very good for that. So this is one tool. If you have your office, do it that way, that to be more productive. If you don't have this, go out, go to the nature, run, walk. When you stop thinking about this, other idea will come, and I will tell from my experience, that was for years and years for me the best way to get new ideas. I went out to the nature, I walk, I run, and then came back, just start to write, because I got so many different ideas. So help your brain to start help you thinking. Another, paper and orientation. If you need to write a text, okay, this is the way how to use it. But you need to know your eyes vision is not adapted to the paper, to that position upside down. Your eyes going left, right. So if you want to have the complete paper, you'll need to step back or you more move up and down. So whenever you try to do everything on the paper, do it on the landscape. So that's why also all my templates are on landscape, and this is very important. Try to do it differently. You see how differently you have experience. At the beginning you'll have awkward experience because you're ought to you know that you need to write on the ups and down position, so left right is something different at the beginning, but drawing is perfectly easier. Even the kids, they are doing that way. So every paper I got from my daughter is that left right position, you know, landscape, and this is how is natural. We just got, you know, used to that different position. What you can also experiment is binaural beats. This is kind of sound which sync different brain hemisphere, and if you will try to listen, you will see that you have two different tones on the left and the right frequency. Just go to the YouTube, type binaural beats, and you will see a lot of it. They will say focus music or complex task music, something like this. And you will see that it will help you in concentration, they will improve thinking process. But I advise at the beginning not to use it for half an hour, whatever. Using it few minutes or 20 minutes, like the Pomodoro style, 25 minutes Pomodoro style writing. And this is how I'm doing it. 25 minutes with the binaural beats if I'm here in office writing, and this is how you open your innovation space. So that was for today. In the next video, in the next webinar, I'll try to explain the last part, how to do that results and innovation, how to do the results and impact part, which is normally very difficult to describe, and we can meet on the Facebook group. So just try to find hash projects with Igor, and you can find in the YouTube or on the internet or in the Facebook, or visit my web page. So I will give you and I will deliver new ideas and my examples, good practice with you every week. So until next time.